The story involves a famous athlete and dictator Ramzan Kadyrov.
Я найду тебя, да, и мы посмотрим, да, кто из нас шайтан там.
This is Ramzan Kadyrov, the leader of the Chechen Republic in southern Russia. For more than a decade, he's murdered his rivals, tortured his critics, and terrorized the population with a heavily armed militia he calls Kadyrovsi.
I'm very good at obeying. All my life I obeyed my father. I obeyed the law. I obeyed to Putin.
Who uses his religion and nationalism to purge members of society.
Я очень много шайтанов там уничтожал, и тебя тоже уничтожил.
Ramzan Kadyrov, whose security forces are accused of abduction and torture, with gay men among their recent targets. We spoke at a safe house after they fled. This man's one of dozens who say they were beaten and electrocuted in Chechnya, punished for being gay.
Kadyrov has gone public with his view that married women should expect beatings from their husbands.
Kadyrov said human rights groups are animals. They are enemies of the people.
Kadyrov became leader at the age of 30. Within 2 years, his closest political rivals, the Yamadyev brothers, had both been shot dead. One of the murderers had worked as a stable hand for Kadyrov. With no serious political opponents left, his power had now become unlimited.
The athlete is Umar Salamov. He has been missing for months. Tumzo Abdirrahmanov, seen here, is a Chechen blogger who successfully escaped by, per his words, planting stories of his death to evade an assassination attempt by the leader, Kadyrov. Abdirrahmanov survived a previous assassination attempt in 2020. He has been a staunch opposer to Kadyrov, building his following on YouTube to the tune of nearly 500,000 subscribers. After Salamov's fight against Vikipita Morero, no one heard from the boxer. Abdirrahmanov put this message on Telegram asking of his whereabouts. In January of 2023, Chechnyan authorities abducted and arrested about 20 civilians in the village of Alkankala. The arrested men might face extremism charges, wrote Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty. This would follow Kadyrov's approach, having no mercy on anybody, except for this guy. Survivors would speak of the tortures. The survivor was taken to a basement of a police building where he saw cells packed with people, anywhere from 30 to 50, with bare concrete floor and walls, no toilet, no blankets, nothing.
Сейчас главнее всего преследования были всегда, но не так, как сейчас. Сейчас начали поголовно всех забирать, убивать. Делать все, что хотят, потому что знают, что...
I was beaten so badly that I couldn't stand up, he said. We slept on the bare floor, actually on top of one another, and yet we were beaten every morning. The Kadyrovsi came down to us every morning, and instead of breakfast, we received a bit of electric shock torture. Zap, zap, zapped. They attached wires to all parts of the body, twisted the wheel, and said to me, "Tell me." But they didn't tell me what I was supposed to say. Ayub Abumudlimov described the horror of what he went through. Salt torture, where his hands and legs were cuffed and large quantities of salt were poured into his mouth. When he was on the point of choking, he would be given water to drink, causing extreme pain as the salt passed through his body. On that January day, it is believed Salamov was taken. Alexandra Kavakadze, research fellow at Georgian Foundation for Strategic and International Studies, used the term cleansing operations to describe Kadyrov's ways. Journalist Karim Zidan made note of Salamov's success in the ring, which got him discovered by Kadyrov, who funded his move to the U.S., where he signed for Bob Arum's Top Rank. His very first post on Instagram showed him signing the dotted line with Arum by his side. His last post was September 15th, 2022. Zidan notes this would not be the first time a Kadyrov loyalist would turn up missing. Georgy Gagloev, pictured here, was a trained MMA fighter. He was found dead on a train traveling to Moscow. Reports indicated he passed via suffocation from a pillow. In short, Gagloev made a plea in video form asking Kadyrov for help into his search for his missing aunt. She would get in a taxi in February, but the car would later be found abandoned. Gogloev was under the belief that his aunt was kidnapped, owing to her profession. Gogloev's aunt, Rima, was a fortune teller. Taking up such professions is prohibited in the religion of Islam. Abdul Karim Adiloev, seen here, was a member of the UFC and Kadyrov favorite. So much so, he would be named Deputy Prime Minister. However, although he was in Kadyrov's inner circle, he had reportedly fallen out of favor with the dictator a few months before his demise. Despite serving as a Deputy Prime Minister, Adilov's death has not been acknowledged by Kadyrov, his government, or the Legion of Fighters at his employ. Adilov's brother, who serves as Chechny's Minister of Sports, has also not been seen in public since December 2022. As Zidane writes in his Sports Politica newsletter, over the past 16 years, Kadyrov has ruled the semi-autonomous Republic of Chechnya with an iron fist. During that time, he has been routinely accused of orchestrating human rights abuses, including assassinations, abductions, torture, extrajudicial killings, and purges targeting the local LGBTQ+ community. Despite his harrowing human rights record, Kadyrov has managed to expand his sphere of influence through his patronage in combat sports. Thus, it leaves us with the question many should be asking: where is Umar Salamov?